Let's talk about Rolex. It's been a process. You know, I'm gonna be completely frank with you. I think in my last State of the Collection video, I mentioned how I felt that the Rolex buying experience, or lack of being able to buy experience, was the worst purchasing experience that I've ever experienced in my life. It's simply horrible. It's so frustrating. I can't stand it. And it's literally the worst purchasing experience I've ever had in my life. At this point in my watch journey, I've sort of given up. I don't think I'm ever going to get the call. I don't think I will ever be the right customer for them. And I don't quite understand. Let's take it back for a sec. Rolex, the way I understand, they have no control over their ADs. Their ADs kind of decide. They're the ADs themselves are the gatekeepers. Obviously, they get allocated a certain number of watches a year that they decide who to sell them to. So I don't think it's not really Rolex's fault. For a while, I was trying to play the game. I don't want to mention the name, but I bought like 3 watches at this like group of ADs that, you know, sell Rolex. And I bought my Seamaster, which is almost $6,000, and I bought 2 Tudors that totaled close to $9,000, give or take. And so I spent, you know, the price of if you take all of that, I spent the price of almost what a Daytona would cost, like, so at the dealer, at the AD. And you know, for me, it's not like a little bit of money what I spent there. And I just didn't feel, every time I went in, even though I had some purchase history, I felt like more of my dignity was leaving my body. At some point, I just thought, I'm just not going as much, because I don't want to feel that way that I feel every time I go in, like a fucking beggar. I don't want to do that anymore, so I stopped doing it. And that's why when I go I'd go to the ADs and I'd see what's new. There really isn't much of anything new to try on watches, and, you know, I can talk about it on camera and maybe potentially make a video. That's why I would go to the ADs a lot primarily, and I probably will continue to do that. But me inquiring about Rolexes at this AD, it's not going to happen anymore. So I had that group of ADs where I bought the 3 watches at, and there's nothing. Doesn't appear to be anything in the future coming from them. So I decided there's a Tourneau around where I live, so I decided to go there and inquire about a watch as well for me and my wife. So I went, and obviously I haven't bought anything because there really isn't a watch that I want to buy at this point. So I just went there, made conversation about watches, and just said I was interested in these watches, and I was put on the list. Again, I haven't heard from them again, but I'd never bought a watch from them, so I don't expect to hear from them. If I ever do decide to buy a watch from an AD again, I'll probably go to Tourneau, because I've sort of done with this other group of ADs, given that I've spent this amount of money. A lot of people may say it's not enough money, but I think the point I'm trying to say about Rolex is I love their products. I think they're great. I love the simplicity of their collection. There's not a lot of, you know, they make like maybe 8 different watches. They're all somewhat similar. They have, you know, small variations. It's a very simple collection to look. You can kind of decide what you want with, you know, very easily. Omega, Breitling, these other watch manufacturers, they just have too much, in my opinion. I think their collections are too broad. They could learn a thing or two about the simplicity of Rolex's catalog. That's one of the things I like. I admire their watches. I have this thing about like buying on the pre-owned market or gray market, because I don't want to overpay. I don't want to pay more than retail for anything. I really do not do that. It's not my thing. Very bad customer experience with trying to get a Rolex. It's just not. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stoop. I'm not going to beg on my knees. Right now, in the short term, or maybe in the medium term, or maybe I could be completely wrong about this, but eventually Rolex is going to piss off enough people like me that they're just not going to give a crap about their watches anymore. They've been burned. And there may be a lot of people that'd be like, oh, they get offered a watch and they just like, thank you so much, Rolex. You thought about me. You like me. You really like me.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me right now. You like me.
But I'm not going to do that. And I don't, if I get the call one day, you know, I'll probably go buy it. But, you know, it's just not, I'm not going to go and like go out of my way to do it. If something comes out on the pre-owned market that I actually decide is a pretty close enough deal that I like and it has box and papers, that kind of thing, I might consider buying that too. For the record, the 3 watches that I bought at the AD were watches I actually wanted. I didn't buy things just to buy them to build up my spend history. I actually wanted those watches. If you're buying watches that you don't really like to up your spend history, I don't think that's a good approach. Because the second you buy that watch, and let's say you don't like it in 6 months, you're going to take a huge loss. So you might as well just buy it on the gray market or used, because you would have probably paid just the extra $2,000 anyway, and whatever you pay, whatever loss you took for that watch that you didn't really like in the first place. So there is a thing to be said to go to the gray market, go pre-owned. And I've sort of been warming up to that idea more and more. If there is a Rolex that I really want, and I'm actually considering that at this point. I wasn't considering it in the past because I really wanted that whole like Rolex AD experience, you know. But I really don't care as much as I did anymore. I just sort of want the watch. If I really wanted a Rolex, I'm probably going to go pre-owned. If it's a relatively good deal, maybe not too much over retail. So my thoughts on the Rolex current experience. I think they're catering to the VIP customer right now. They want to keep their VIPs happy. But at the same time, they're alienating potential future VIPs like me. That I could probably, you know, I'm really sucked into this hobby, and I could probably be a customer for life. They've really pissed me off at this point, and I don't care anymore. You know, they're pissing off a lot of people that could be potential customers for a long time. These old people, old VIPs, are eventually going to die out, and they're going to just be left with all these people that are pissed off with them because they had to wait years upon years, or maybe never got their watch that they ever wanted, or they had to go pre-owned. Are there enough of these VIPs to sustain, you know, over $1 million watches a year, 1.5, whatever it is? Probably, you know, because a lot of these VIPs, they'll buy the watch, they get the call, you know, they'll buy the watch, maybe own it for, you know, a year or so, and they sell it on, you know, and they make a little bit of money, or they sell it for the same price. And until they get the call for the Daytona that they've always they've been waiting for. Overall, those are my thoughts about Rolex, and I am not going to play the game anymore. And there's so many other brands that are happy to have my business. Again, there's so many other brands that, you know, you can buy their watches pre-owned, and they're actually really good deals. Like, you know, the likes of Breguet, the likes of Breitling. You know, I recently got into Breitling, love them. Just bought a Breitling Super Ocean, and I'm completely in love with that watch. There's a lot out there. Not everybody wants Rolex, but Rolex doesn't want you. It's complicated. All right, well, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to rant anymore about Rolex. We'll see what happens this year or next year, and I'll give you another update about my lack of Rolex buying experience.